as a teenager, things are just so confusing and your body is changing in different ways. Well, I felt it. Like I was very discomforted, and you're trying to understand what it means to be a teenager. Your parents are treating you as adults as well as children. You can't seem to find a middle ground. Okay, it's a little confusing right there. And for me, well, I think I took my own time to get through those teenage years. I would not say that it wasn't fun. It was a lot of fun, but it was also very confusing. And I think through time I have been able to, get okay with my identity and how I am as a person. But then again, there were problems, yes. So now, as a mental health practitioner, having worked with children and adolescents, and I've noticed that these problems persist, the same problems. I mean, maybe in slightly different ways, but largely the same problems. And if I were to think for myself, I feel maybe I wish there was a different way for me to express them. I met this kid who was brought to me, and the teacher told me that this child is not being responsive in class at all. He's just quiet, doesn't do his homework, doesn't talk to any of the children. And the thing is, he used to at some point, and something seems to have happened, and he's just non-expressive, no talking at all. So when I met him for the first time, I said, "Hi, how are you? What's your name?" All these kind of things, and very, very shy and reserved. And when I asked him, "Do you know why you're here?" he told me that, well, the teacher has brought me here, and that's all. So I said, "Okay, what else would you like to tell me about you? How is school for you?" So this boy would not open up at all. I would keep asking him questions, asking him to answer, but no, he wouldn't reply. So I told him, "Hey, here's a drum," and I gave him a drum. I just asked him to play what he would like to play, beat it, do whatever. And he smiled and he took to the drum very well. And I feel like he began to open up. I asked him, he played a particular beat that seemed to show a certain emotion, and I guess initially he was a little hesitating about what the beat is, but then he went on after that. He did not stop for the longest time. And then I realized that he had a lot of pent up kind of emotion. And later he drew about how it was actually anger. And I realized that probably the reason why he chose not to talk about it is because language has a grammar, it has a syntax. He was limited by it. But the drum or art did not have that. It was an open playing field. There was no filter. He could just express. And further exploration showed that he had a lot of pent up anger towards his school friends because they were bullying him, and even at home it wasn't a very empowering environment. And this boy began to be more expressive. He was a lot more open to smiling and using the space around him instead of being reserved and quiet the whole time. So adolescence can be a time where everything is very trial and error based. You don't know what is okay, what is not okay. You don't know how to express yourself. You're not sure if it will be taken the right way, especially when it comes to an emotion like anger. What is the most appropriate way of expressing? We don't know, especially when it is something that has been there for very, very long. So arts-based forms of therapies do exactly that. They give you a platform to express, and at the same time give you a safe, non-threatening environment to do that. And when it comes to children wanting to talk about themselves, this has been found to work wonderfully. Adolescence is a time where children face difficulties, it is an important time, but it continues to remain neglected.